training update for you guys, giving you some footage of a pull workout that I had just in the past couple of days. Excuse my dog in the background barking. If he continues to bark, I might re-record this, but I'm just going to go ahead with it right now. So my split recently has changed. I gave a little bit of an update as to what I'm doing training-wise. But to reiterate that, my current split is a push, pull, lower, push, pull, lower. So I am currently lifting 6 days a week. So push will be shoulders, chest, triceps. Pull is back, biceps, and some sort of a compound pull movement. So for me, my pull workout on this day was deadlifts. So right now I'm choosing to either do block pulls or deadlifts as my main pull compound lift, and then following my main compound lift, then I go into accessory work. So for this particular day, I was feeling pretty good, so I decided to do deadlifts from the floor. This is actually a deadlift bar and not a stiff bar, so it has a tiny bit of whip to it. See, as I pull, it bends. An Ohio bar, or the bar that I normally use, does not have any whip to it, so it's slower off of the ground, whereas this, it gives you a little bit, it allows me to get into a better position, so I actually find it easier on my lower back than a stiff bar, just because with a stiff bar it's not going to bend up as much, so basically you're grabbing the bar closer to the ground, or when you break the floor, the bar will be closer to the ground because it's not bending at all, whereas if it does bend, then you're gaining an inch or so. At least that's what I would estimate as I pull it up there. From where you actually pull it from the ground. So if that makes sense, I probably just did a terrible job at explaining that. But the whippier the bar is, the more bend it will have, and this was a pretty whippy bar. So I decided to just do these instead of block pulls. I'm just having quite a bit of flexibility with my training right now in terms of like what I want to do. So my coach has given me this. We talked about it, and right now I'm just giving my body a little bit of a break from squatting so much and deadlifting so much. So I do some sort of a deadlift variation 2 times a week, and then some sort of a squat variation 2 times per week, which is down significantly from the peak of my squat frequency at 4 times per week, and the peak of my deadlift frequency was 3 times per week. So it's just down to 2 times per week. So not a significant reduction, but we are adding in quite a bit more accessory work for bodybuilding, as that is now more of my focus currently. So just needed a little bit of a break. The powerlifting programming was great. I loved it. I focused on powerlifting solely for 2 years. But now that I'm leaning down, I find that I need a little bit less main lift volume and a little bit more accessory work volume, just to focus more on hypertrophy and also to not get injured. So as I lean down and my leverages change, keeping up that frequency of 4 times a week of squatting is pretty much a recipe for injury. So here, this was my last set of, I believe I did 7 reps with 335 pounds. As you can see, I am doing full resets. I always do full resets on deadlift, where I step away from the bar and then step back and go for it again. I've had a history of back injuries ever since I was, in late high school. I've had a lower back on my lower left side on my back. I've had a tweak there, so I just have to be really careful, and if I get fatigued, if I'm allowing my fatigue to play into my form as it gets in the later reps, I tend to pull up unevenly, and it can be just a combination that leads to a little bit of a wrong pull, and my back will tighten up, and it's just not a good thing. So I take my time, I reset in between each rep, and I don't let my fatigue or my endurance on deadlifts play a role in my form. I'm form first, first and foremost, 100%. and I'm still pulling the weight. I'm still, moving the weight well. I am moving a significant amount of weight for those, but it's just in a more controlled fashion. And oh, a little bit of a dance for you guys. I must have gotten really excited. My friend Tyree showed up to the gym, so I guess I was pretty pumped. So moving into close grip pull downs, this was with one of my favorite attachments. It's called a I believe it's called a mag grip attachment. I can't remember, but usually it's specialty gyms that have these attachments. They're easier on your wrists and easier on your hands. And then I moved into a pull down with a inward grip, as you can see on the lat pull down machine. I like this better because it's not so hard on my wrists. From there I moved on to one arm dumbbell rows. I use a little bit of momentum on these. Some individuals like to do everything slow and controlled. I prefer to use a little bit of momentum on something like this because I find that the limiting factor for my strength is definitely at the stretch, and my strength at the squeeze of the rep is actually very strong. So I don't want to limit the weight that I can move to the contraction by the weight that would be extremely slow and controlled at the stretch of the movement, if that makes sense. So using a little bit of swing to my advantage so I can use more weight and move more weight to the contraction of the rep. So I do this too with dumbbell curls. Tyree and I decided to go shirtless, so once Tyree goes shirtless, basically everyone in the entire gym goes shirtless, so I just had to follow suit and follow protocol. So as I mentioned, I'm doing a push-pull leg split, so this is obviously pull, and these are bicep curls on the cable. So typically I do one compound bicep exercise and one isolation. I did not film, or no, I did film my isolation. So I did my compound my primary bicep movement, not compound. I meant to say primary. My primary bicep was the cable curls, and then my secondary were some hammer curls that I will show you in a second. This was just a finisher, straight arm pull downs for my lats. These were with, I believe, about 110 pounds or so for sets of 15 maybe. So straight arm pull downs, really isolating those lats, and so typically I end with like 3 sets of 15 of some sort of isolation exercise. So straight arm pull downs or one arm rows or something of that nature. So here these are hammer curls and just a finisher. So I believe I did 3 by 15. Usually my finisher exercise is anywhere from 12 to 15 reps. And so that's what I finish my bicep workout with. Hope you guys enjoyed taking a little bit of a look at my training and seeing what I'm doing. Split has changed up a little bit, but still focusing a lot on the compounds and a lot on the isolation exercises, so definitely still a hybrid. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon.